Hello there guys, I am the Gaming Lemon. Welcome to Top 5 Structures for Minecraft on the Xbox 360. This is the series where I show off the best builds and the best worlds that I get sent in every week to the category of the video, which this week is mazes. The series is back for good now and it will be returning to its regular weekly routine, and next week is going to be hotels. I'll include more information on how you can submit your hotel at the end of the video. Jumping right into our number 5 spot, it goes to Terminates. Terminates included 3 different mazes, the first one being a hell themed maze slash castle. This one looked very cool, also had an underground area. This wasn't part of the actual maze itself, but it's just a little area where you can go down and explore some more detail to the actual castle or maze. I thought this one looked really cool, it really had a nice castle theme to it and a kind of evil feel to it as well, especially when I was underground. The second maze we got going on is under a little dome. This is a simple spiral maze where you have to get to the chest in the middle of the maze. It is surrounded by grass and sand, just a simple old maze, but I thought I'd include it anyway, it looks really nice. And the third maze, this one was a little bit different. This one was on top of a hill and you see the little obsidian walls that have a block between each other. You're supposed to go in and out of those walls to reach the end. It looks a bit confusing, you know, from first sight, but you do get used to it. I thought it was quite cool and quite a unique idea. I still thought the maze at the beginning, the Hell Castle maze, was the coolest, and I think this was the main one-on-one he was trying to show off as well. This one looked really cool and I was really impressed by that. So a good job to Terminates on his 3 mazes and a good way to start off this top 5 countdown. Number 4 spot this week goes to Fear Mig, a returning person to the top 5 countdown. Last time he came 4th place on roller coasters and is 4th place again for his maze. I liked Miggs maze because this one felt like an actual maze, a real maze that you'd go out and go and explore. It had a really nice design to it, you know, it's split up into 4 different sectors and 4 different areas that you could explore, and then in the middle it had this lovely gigantic looking tree. I really loved the look of that. You guys will see a nice view of me under it looking upwards. That was a really nice view, and also a really nice view of it at night shining bright. Of course, we've also got some gameplay of me trying to complete certain things, but I was awful at it. I was awful at all these mazes, to be honest. But you know, it's really fun to try and complete. You know, this is actually playable. I'm not too sure if he's going to include this map as a download or not, but it's definitely playable and it's a really nice map. So well done to Fear Mig. On to the number 3 spot, we have Rogue Anchor. Oh my god, would you look at the size of this maze. This is by far the largest maze I got sent in. Would you just look at that? That's incredible. I couldn't actually fit the whole maze into one picture because the render distance simply doesn't go out that far. So you can imagine how hard this must be to complete. In fact, no one has been able to finish it. He's told me he's had around 100 people try, all of which have failed. In fact, he's got a 600 Microsoft point code ready for the first person to finish it, but of course no one has, so he's still lying there, still up for grabs. If you guys want to have a go, you can go ahead and send him a message. Gamertag is in the description below. Don't spam him too much though, I'm sure he's a busy man working on these builds. These are incredible. He told me that the longest someone has tried to complete it is 6 hours. He had one person trying to complete this for 6 hours, and of course he still couldn't do it. And he also told me this took around a month to build. I would go crazy if I ever tried to build something like this. And here we have his wall of fame for the people that completed it. Of course it's empty, but could that be your name on one of those signs? It could be, if you are willing to give up 12 hours of your time trying to complete this. I spent about 10 minutes just going from the beginning, exploring my way around the maze, and when I got out I was only like a tiny fraction towards the end of the maze. And I don't think I was even going in the right direction. There were so many dead ends, it was so confusing. I think this is a brilliant maze, you can tell you put a lot of effort in. A great job to Rogue Anchor. Oh, second and first place now. This was such a tough decision, picking first and second place out of these two contestants. But second place goes to Webbiest Imp, another returning person to the countdown. He came first in top 5 castles, if you guys remember that. Like I said, he returns yet again with 3 mazes. Well, there are 2 parts to the first maze and also a bonus maze at the end, an ice maze. You guys will see that at the end of this before we get into first place. This was a huge garden maze, like I said, with 2 parts. The first part, as you can see as I'm hovering over this world, there are a number of different structures that you have to go to, and each structure has a switch that you can flip. You have to flip all these switches to get into the second part of the maze. Now, flipping all these switches and all these different structures might make you think that it might be a bit confusing, and you might not know which switch you flipped and which switch you haven't flipped. Well, luckily enough, you can go back and check your progress so it doesn't get too confusing, if you can find your way back, that is. Well, I thought that was a really cool addition. I can imagine there must have been a lot of redstone underneath the maze, which unfortunately I forgot to get a view of. And once the gates open, you go on to the second part of the maze. This has sort of the same concept, except you have to free some villagers by flipping some switches so the fences fall, and they are finally free from the evil master known as Webbiest Imp. To get into the bonus ice maze, as you can see, he drew me over here to a dead end, which, plot twist, it is not a dead end. He went to flip the switch, which revealed a secret passage to the bonus ice maze. One might be asking themselves, why an ice maze? Well, as you can see, you cannot see ice beyond ice, so therefore you can't see which way to go. Although you can't see which way to go in other mazes, this one made it a little bit more confusing, because it looks like there's nothing in front of you and really, there's a load of ice. Kind of boggled my mind a bit, which is a really good idea. Overall, this was a great maze, or great mazes, and I really loved exploring it. It's very impressive, a very good job to Webbiest Imp. Now the moment you've all been waiting for, the number 1 spot goes to Choo Choo Gaming, another returning person to the countdown. Him and his clan came second place with his roller coaster last time, which I should correct, sorry, this is Choo Choo and his clan. CRZ, the clan is called. What I loved about this maze is that it had a theme to it. So there was a story and plot to the actual maze itself, which is really cool. Choo Choo always tells me that his clan tried to be unique with their builds and try and make it out of the blue, out of the ordinary like all the other mazes. Like last time on his roller coaster, he tried to make a cinema 3D experience theme to the actual roller coaster, which was a good idea. And the theme to this one was Attack of the Aliens. You guys will see around the maze there are a ton of different planets and UFOs, some attacking the planets. You guys will see he did a really good job of one UFO attacking the Earth if I speed it up here with the lava. That was a really cool nifty feature he added. As we go into the maze itself, you guys will see there's a gigantic UFO hovering over the maze. Once you reach the end of the maze, you get to go inside this little UFO you got here. From here, you're supposed to launch the UFO and go into hyperspace. A nice little effect you did there when you're on the boat, travelling across space. The lights on the walls there are supposed to simulate stars as you're rushing through them going through hyperspace. Once you reach the end, you get abducted by another UFO. Of course, you've got the aliens there in their little pods. Aliens, that is, totally not villagers. Then once you've done that, you launch yourself out of the UFO and that's the end of the maze. So a nice little game or story at the end of the maze there. All of this looked fantastic at night, which I'm sure it was supposed to be at night once you were playing it. And I love this map, like I said, because it's unique and different to the other ones. I thought it was very creative, and like I said, this clan likes to be creative with their builds. And a well-deserved #1 spot to Choo Choo Gaming and his build clan. Well, that was this week's top 5 structures for Minecraft on the Xbox 360. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, next week is going to be hotels. To submit your world, you have to include pictures of your world and your Xbox Live gamertag to top5structures360@hotmail.co.uk. I'll say that again, you have to include pictures of your world and your Xbox Live gamertag to top5structures360@hotmail.co.uk. Other than that, guys, great submissions sent in. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Lemon out.